bracket. For now, though, we're focusing here on following Rex into his next series. Here we go. And we are settling on into our first best of 5. If you are in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe will be the first player to qualify. Predictions open. There we go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Taiwanese Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless, but a historic player in his own right. It is Haas. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the Taiwanese Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Team Offside. It is Rex. This game is unbalanced for Terran. Keep it civil in the chat. Keep it civil. I feel like these qualifiers are not the place here for any kind of balance whining. Oh yeah, take it to Reddit, Papi. Take it to Reddit. Take it to the ESL Twitch chat. Shaking my head. As we are settling in, so far it is going to be a hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Rex. Meanwhile, Miser on Haas. Again, if you are maybe a newer viewer, a newer fan of StarCraft, you wouldn't know who Haas is. Haas has a notorious reputation of just being incredibly cheesy, incredibly innovative as well. Just whipping out these crazy playstyles, whether it's hyper aggressive or hyper greedy as well. There were even times in the history of StarCraft where Haas even kind of helped shape the meta and brought new builds to the table, brought new playstyles to the table that were embraced by other top-tier players, other Korean players, and refined over time. So yeah, it's really cool to see Haas here once again. For those that are curious, Haas is now a part-time player. It was like a year or two ago when he left Psystorm Gaming, and when he announced that he was, again, just playing more for fun nowadays. Less so full-time like he once was in the past. But again, Haas, he's a veteran of the scene. Similar to Rex, you know, both players have been active for a very, very long time. As I mentioned before, though, Rex has been more active. He has been putting in more hours. But how does the saying go? Form is temporary, class is permanent, and, you know, it's like riding a bike. Haas, I'm sure it didn't take him too much or too long to really get back into the swing of things and regain his previous skill. And it is going to be a robo opener. Very interesting. Okay. Here we go. So with this robo opener, this can go into a couple of different things. Oh, we get a kill in the Overlord. Very big pickoff. That should not have happened, by the way. Overlord does go down. So for those that are curious, with a robo-based opener, this should lead into a disruptor drop, or I should say this can lead into a disruptor drop. If we were being spicy, we could go into a Colossus drop as well, but typically fast Robotech and fast Robotics Bay is going to be on the table here for Haas, unless he were to go into a different direction. I'm talking like maybe a second and a third gateway into fast Immortal production with sentries, and we go for a Soul Train-esque all-in. That's very old school, what I just mentioned, but it is also a possibility, I guess, especially if Haas isn't up to date with the meta or isn't up to date with newer builds. Prism is on the way. No Robotics Bay yet, though. Okay, we may just be looking for some vanilla Adept harass. What I mean by that is Adepts are being moved out, is that with the Prism we can go right into the main base. We can bypass the initial defenses and get into a mineral line with some Adepts. Twilight Council's on the way. Again, very interesting. Okay, so a robo opener into Twilight Council. There it is. Fast Immortal production. Remember what I just said, this old school style here of like an Immortal Sentry based all-in, that feels like that's going to be on the horizon here. Otherwise, there's no reason to start up Immortal production so early on. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on Haas. We'll see how he pieces this all together. Twilight Council's done. With this, we can get into Charge, or into a Templar Archives, into Archons. Prism gets across the map. There it is. Charge is on the way. Additional Immortals. A Gateway Explosion as well. Do you see what I see? I see no third base. And so does Rex. He confirms with the drone that there is no third base. Gateways are being thrown down. It's a 2-base all-in. 2-base all-in here from Haas. Gonna be Charge Lot Immortal. I imagine Sentries will be incorporated as well, but we'll see. As for now, Haas just doing the best he can to just harass and be an annoyance. Keep the attention of Rex at home instead of across the map. Oh, that's additional gateways. Oh my god! So we had 2 gateways initially here on the low ground, and now we have a 6 gateway explosion. That's going to be 8 gates in total. 2 base all in. 2 base all in here from Haas. Again, you don't see this too often anymore. Not like this. How will Rex respond? I mean, Rex, he's drawn up to 52. I mean, he sees no base. Even though Rex doesn't see the gateway explosion, seeing the lack of third is enough of a tell. So because of that, Rex, he isn't droning. He's cutting workers at 52. He's making lings, roaches, queens, pushing forward his spores. Rex doesn't know exactly what's happening. He doesn't know whether it's charge or sentries or disruptors. Doesn't know what kind of all-in. He knows it is an all-in though. Because of that, taking it very seriously, he spots the move out as well with his lings. And here we go, Haas is moving out with everything he has. Looking at the Unisloth stab, or Unistab here, we have 3 Immortals, a good amount of Zealots, the Prism to juggle, 3 Sentries for Force Fields. Here it is. Only 2 Ravagers. Lings are getting ready for a surround. Yeah, we're collapsing on the army. We're trying to at least. We're taking it slow. See Rex trying to be very meticulous here with his army. Pulls away the workers. Pulls away his drones. Hatchery taking a lot of hits. You can see that Rex is trying to buy some time. Trying to buy time here for more reinforcements. The base goes down. Not a bad pickup here by Haas, but he needs more. He needs to get more done. Files, they do not connect. Again, the fact that there's only 2 Ravagers is concerning to me. Rex, he's supply blocked. Oh, now is not the time. Now is not the time. There we go. Overlords are finishing up. Haas being very careful here with how he approaches this. Lings coming from behind, but they're being cleaned up. Zealots do finish. And Haas, he collapses on the army. Good force fields here, looking in the Ravagers. 1 Ravager goes down. The 2nd Ravager goes down as well. No more Ravagers, and Rex is in a lot of trouble. The boys are being pulled. The Roaches, they try to dive on top of those Immortals, but alas, we cannot get there. And Haas, he is breaking through. He's trying to at least. He gets the Roach Warren. Roach Warren goes down. Big warp in. The boys are being pulled. Rex trying to get on top of this, but he's losing too many Roaches. He's losing too much. Zelset getting out of hand. Reinforcements are coming in, but that's going to be 13, 14 dead workers. And we've done it. Haas, he has broken through. GG gets called, and Haas takes game number 1 with a bit of an old school Immortal Charge Lot 2 base all in. GG. Again, very out of meta, very old fashioned. But hey, if it works, it works. GG, well played. Haas takes the first game. And this is going to be kind of what I expect here from Haas, in the sense that I don't expect long macro games, or I should say, let's just make sure I don't die. I should say I don't expect standard games out of Haas. We could see a longer macro game if Haas, for example, rushes into Sky Toss, rushes into or is able to be hyper greedy or something of the like. There is a world where Haas could try to embrace a longer game, but again, I don't expect standard play. Don't expect standard play here, as we're settling into game number 2. And already a bit of an upset, right? Haas to take the first game like that. And again, Rex, he was preparing for the all-in, but unfortunately he only had 2 Ravagers. What that means is that he couldn't actually threaten the Warp Prism, right? If he had a higher Ravager count, maybe he's able to push a little bit further forward, and then he's going to be able to threaten the Warp Prism with Biles, maybe bring it down. But he was being forced back. It was also supply block, so he had to make additional Overlords. He was stuck on a lower supply overall to work with, and yeah, Haas was able to just systematically break through the third, then the natural. Very well done. Very well done here by Haas. But now we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top right-hand corner, leading the series 1-0. The Taiwanese Protoss player, the veteran himself, representing the Haasian Republic. It is Haas. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Zerg player, the best Zerg player in all of Taiwan, representing offside. It is Rex. Now, Haas may be leading the series, but what I will say is that it's a best of 5, so plenty more games ahead of us. Rex has plenty of opportunities to bounce back here in this series. I want to believe. I want to believe he can, as Rex is going to be taking that natural expansion. Again, it's going to be a standard hatch gas pool opener out of Rex. Haas going for his own gate expand setup as well. My apologies. This is weird. This is a gateway setup on the ramp. This is typically not done. Usually we would be walling off here at the natural to expand. Because the wall is being set up here on the high ground, we're going for the gold. 100%. We're going for the gold base instead. That's why the SimCity has been set up in such a manner. And there we go. The gold is being taken. Haas. Okay, so he is familiar with these newer maps. I mean, Akion is a little bit older, but regardless, Haas is familiar. He's rushing into the goal base, and Rex needs to scout this. He needs to get eyes on this sooner rather than later. Now, this is risky here for Haas because, as you can imagine, it's quite difficult to defend both locations at once. Your main base and your gold are so spread out. Once we get eyes on this, Rex, he could apply pressure at either base and split the attention of Haas apart and break him there. Possibly there. We'll see how Rex responds, right? Does he go all in? Does he go for a Lin Queen Nidus based all in? Or does he just drone and get into roaches? For now, Overlord gets across the map. Rex, he sees the lack of wall. That's a big tell. And Rex, he's piecing this together. Making an extra wave of lings, droning, and yep, cleaning up that right hand side, opening up the wall. Rex knows. He hasn't seen the base, but he knows what's going on, and now he confirms a full wall here on top of the ramp. And we're moving out. We are moving out. Well, we are going for the recall. We do manage to saturate the gold. Lings are amassing. Baneliness on the way. We're going all in. Rex is going for a Bane bust, and Haas has no idea. Now he's setting up SimCity. We have a pylon, we have a gateway, we have a robo. We need a shield battery. We need some good SimCity. There we go. We fully wall off on the left-hand side. Lings have arrived. We do get eyes on that, on those gates at least. We do get eyes on them. There we go. Shield battery on the way. Haas, the architect himself, just creating as much of a wall, as much obstacles here in the path of Rex. Banelings are on the way. Can he pull this off? He sees Haas. He does with the Banelings. Is aware of what's going on. Good kiting so far. Cleans up a lot of Lings. Ling speed is finishing up. One adept goes down. Do we get a surround? We do. Oh, we try to. Shield battery does finish. The Banelings, they crash into the pylon. But a backup pylon is on the way. We're trying to break through. Pylon goes down. The adept will fall as well. The immortal gets caught. And where's the overcharge? Where's the shield battery? There it is. Overcharge is popped. But the immortal is out of range. No! The immortal's out of range and it's gonna go down. Big pickoff, and Rex, this may just be too much. Haas has nothing left. There is no warp gates. Warp gate finishing up in 3 seconds, and 2 and 1. Warp gate is finishing up. Until then, though, he only has probes. There we go. Adepts are warping in. But here come the Banelings. The Banelings, they're barely squeezing on through. And they're going to be crashing into these zealots, and there's just not enough here. Rex, he's done it. He's broken the gold. And with that, Haas, cheeky move going for the gold base, but he won't be able to save it. Won't be able to hold on. The Artosis pylon's going to fall. That's going to depower everything. The Immortal does come out. But again, it doesn't even matter. Not anymore. Back in the main base, we have one gateway. We have one gateway back in the main. GG gets called, and Rex ties up the series at 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Oh, God. I can't even laugh anymore, Papi. But GG, well played. Haas tries to rush into the gold. Rex, he scouts, he confirms, and he punishes hard. And just like that, we have a tied up series. We are tied up 1 apiece. And We'll see who does take a lead from here. Who takes the lead? Who's able to gain momentum here? As Game 3 is going to be taking place on... Game 3 is going to be taking place on Site Delta. We go. Just waiting for our players to ready up. There we go. Beautiful. We're diving in. And I'm just glad that we're getting a back and forth. I'm just glad that we do have this kind of dynamic here between our players. The question becomes, what comes next from Haas? You know, we've had a 2-base all-in. We've had a gold base or an attempted ninja gold or a gold rush. What else haven't we seen? Dark Templar, DT's cannon rush? Potentially. At some point. Possible. We'll see. And here we go. We're getting into game number 3. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Site Delta, we have our Taiwanese Protoss player. The blue Protoss being forced into a tied-up series. Can he bounce back? It is Haas. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Zerg player, the red Zerg representing Offside. Ooh, fighting back and tying it up 1-1. And take a lead. It is Rex. Here we go. Shout out to, I see Oreo in the chat. Este Oreo. Mia Micah's there as well. So good. And Troll. Yes, exactly. I mean, that's why we're here. We're here for the games. We're here for the nonsense. We're here to have fun. At least. Something that we always have in our region. Once again, Hatch Gas Pool standard opener out of Rex. Haas, what are we going for as we do set up a gateway on the low ground? Again, one of the big features of Site Delta is a feature that is not quite common in too many maps anymore. Ramp leading into the natural. There's a ramp here at the natural base, so it is a little bit more safe and secure as a result. Haas is not tempted to go for any kind of gold base, as there is no gold on this map either. So far, standard build, gate expand out of Haas. Nothing wild yet, but we'll keep an eye on Haas, because again, he's not afraid to all in. He likes it, but he prefers it. He is afraid to play macro, true. So we'll keep an eye on Haas. Just catching him in the chat. Haas might have messed up the SimCity a little bit. Either messing up the SimCity or mis-rallying the Robo. I can't quite remember. I don't think there was an area on the northern side of the Robo for an Immortal to pop out, so I think it was forced to come out on the low ground or towards the south, which left it exposed. So either the Immortal there had to be room for the Immortal to pop out in the mineral line, or the shield battery had to be a little bit closer towards the left-hand side to be within range of the Immortal, either or, right? Like, one or the other would have been preferred. And if the overcharge was within range, if the Immortal survives there, potentially a different outcome. Potentially, right? I'm not going to say that if the Immortal had been within range, then Haas defends, he holds, and he wins the game. I'm not sure if we can go that far, but, you know, it would have made for a very different game, regardless, and there was an unfortunate moment when the Immortal was out of range. Meanwhile, once again, Robo Opener. 2 games in a row. Now, sorry, I said 2 games in a row. Second time in this series. To wind it back, if you weren't here for Game 1, in Game 1, Haas went for a Robo Opener into a Twilight Council, into an Immortal Charge, 2-base all-in with 8 gateways. But I was a little bit surprised that was the case. I was expecting like a Robo into a Bay, into Disruptor Drop or Fast Colossus. I was expecting something a little bit more normal and a little bit more standard. A little bit more, maybe common is the better way to say it, from a Robo Opener, but we'll see as once again, there's a Twilight Council. So far, this looks like the same build as Game 1. This looks like Robo into Prism, into Immortal, into Charge, into a 2-base all-in. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on Haas, see if he does deviate. And I'm sure he will. again, Haas, he isn't a one-trick pony, and I would be surprised if he embraced the same build again in this series. Overlord goes down. That does supply block Rex, at least for a moment. 4 Overlords on the way. Ooh, a brutal supply block there for Rex. Prism is coming out again to harass across the map. Twilight Council is done, and what are we going for? We are once again going for Immortals, but this time we don't go for Charge. This time we're going for Dark Templar. So the opener was the same as game 1, but the build has changed. This is a new adaptation here by Haas, going for the Invisible Man. The Invisible Man is going to be on the way, and Rex has to be careful because he may misread this. Rex, he lost his Overlord, and as he's piecing this together, he may kind of fall for it. He may believe it's going to be the same build as game 1, and if that happens, he might skip his Spore. Now he is going for a lair first. Bold move here. Fast lair out of Rex does mean he will have access to mobile detection. Thankfully for Rex. Lings are keeping up. Again, Rex is droning. Just like the previous game, even though we're harassing with the depths and with the prism, Rex, he's assuming it's not Glaive Adepts, which is why he's been droning up a little bit more freely. Rex droning up to 55. If this was Glaive Adepts, then Rex may just die here and now, but again, he's gambling a little bit and he's assuming it isn't, and I mean, we know it isn't as well. Behind this charge on the way, a Gateway Explosion. It looks like we're going to be starting with with DTs, then we can morph in Archons, and then the Archons can of course support the eventual all-in. So this should still be a 2-base all-in here at Haas. No Spores! Oh, no Spores are in position. DTs are coming in. Where's the detection? It's still on the way! Overseers are on the way. Drones are going down. Again, 0 Spores here for Rex, and he's being pulled apart. We get 6, we get 7 drones already, and we're getting even more. The Prism does escape. We're getting 10 drones, 11 drone kills here. Detection is finally out, but this is becoming too much. As the Dark Templar, they're still alive, denying so much mining time, getting another drone here. The multi-pronged aggression is too much for Rex. 16 drones go down. But I say 16, 18. Can we get 19? Not quite. That's 18 dead workers, and Haas, he's set up for the follow-up push. Again, 2-base all-in at Haas. Charge is done. We have 2 Immortals. The remaining DTs can morph into Archons. There are none, to be fair, but if we had any, could be seeing some Archons as we are pushing out. At the same time, Ling run by here in the main. Forces a defensive warp in. Getting a couple of probes. But Rex, can he survive? Can he hold? Can he hold as Haas is moving out? Val's going to be zoning him away. Force fields are thrown down. 4 Ravagers this time, a good amount of them. Can help deal with the Prism, with the Force fields. Zoning back the army, but alas, Haas doing such a great job here at avoiding those biles. And he's breaking on through. Shields are going to be triggered on one of his Immortals. But he takes control of the 3rd base. Lings are going down. Roaches as well. And again, it looks like Haas may just have too much. He catches the Ravagers. The Ravagers are going down. The Transfuse is not good enough. The Overlords doing what they can to soak up some shots there. But alas, there's just too much Protoss on the ground. And Haas, he's overwhelming. He's snowballing out of control. Again, catching Rex with his pants down. GG gets called. And Haas takes the lead in the series at 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Rex cutting corners. It looked like maybe he did assume that it was the same build as game 1, which meant no Spores. No Spores, no detection. The Invisible Man, that may not have been the killing blow for Haas, but honestly, that set him up for success. Like, that was the beginning of the end. Those Dark Templar, how many workers did they kill? 18. 18 drones for, what, 3 Dark Templar? That was brutal. That was brutal, and that was the beginning of the end. And Haas was able to snowball from there. He crippled the economy. Did cripple it and was able to just knock Rex down from there. And now Haas is 1 game away. 1 game away from winning it all. Haas needs 1 more, and Rex needs to fight back here and now to force the ace match. The pressure is on. The pressure is on. Meanwhile, as we settle into our next game, a big shout out to Gemini SC2. Oh my god, GGE Mini in the chat. Ga, papi, ga. Gracias, thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great time. Assuming you were laddering or maybe hosting something related to all things Protoss. Thank you so much. A big shout out to Gemini again. He has been a pretty key part of the StarCraft community for many years now, living his life in Korea, but still helping where he can. You know, more recently he did post a wall-off guide for Protoss players out there in the new map pool, so thank you so much for all that you do, Gemini. Thank you so much, and thank you for the raid. As we're settling into our next game, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Taiwanese Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing himself one game away from making it through and qualifying for the main event for the Asia Regionals of EPT Spring. It is Haas. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Zerg player, the Red Zerg representing Offside. He needs to fight back here and now. He's up against the wall. He needs your support in the chat. It is Rex. Needs your help. He needs your support. Personally, I would love to see an ace match, regardless of whether this goes the way of Rex or Haas. I would love to see a game 5. I would love to see more between these players. But again, it's not on me. It is on Rex. Here we go. Hatch gas full, standard opener so far here out of Rex. And our eyes have to be on Haas. He's done something different every game. Game 1 was a 2-base Immortal Charge all-in. Game 2 was, of course, the gold base. Game 3 was a Dark Shrine variation of the Immortal Charge all-in, slipping in and mixing in those Dark Templar instead. Here in Game 4, what do you have? What do we got? We go. So now we're just going to be settling into set game. Probe Scout coming in, just confirming the timing of the hatchery, just making sure that nothing amiss is going on. To get eyes on the gas geyser or the spawning pool timing as well. So Haas should be feeling pretty safe. Once again, going for the Robo Opener. Okay, this has been his go-to. Now, as I mentioned before, this Robo Opener has traditionally led into an all-in, into a 2-base all-in, but different variations. Game 1 was just Immortal Charge lots. Game 2, the last game was Immortal Charge, but we started off with Dark Templar to kind of pave the way for the all-in. This time, what do you have? This time, are we finally seeing a Disruptor drop? Are we finally seeing a fast bay into Disruptors? Or are we going for something more tried and true? Are we reverting back to just Charge lots and Immortals? We shall see. As our eyes are on Haas, there's that Twilight Council on the way. This should be for charge. Should be, but again, we'll keep our eyes on him. Should be for charge. We could go for another Dark Shrine, but I imagine that Rex is going to be a little more wary of detection this time. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for a safety Spore. 3-minute 30 Roach Warren. Very early Roach Warren here by Rex. Coming in from behind with that Overlord, and it looks like he does get eyes on the Twilight Council. Yeah, he's aware of the more aggressive build here from Haas. Prism is on the way. Charge is being researched, as we have seen in the past. But this time we're prioritizing Charge. We're not investing into a Dark Shrine. Okay, so Charge lot Immortal based all in here. This so far looks just like game number 1. We're going back to basics, back to game 1. Now, Rex, he saw the Twilight Council researching, so the likelihood of there being a Dark Shrine is quite low. It's quite low, so we can skip Spores. There we go, Lair is on the way. Getting into Roach production, into Lings. I wanna believe here that Rex can hold this time. I wanna believe. He is droning up a little bit further. Droning up to almost 50. Adepts, they do get across the map into the mineral line. We do zone that prism away. There's that gateway explosion behind this. 6 gates for the time being. We should be going up to 8. There it is. There's the 7th gateway. There is the 8th gate. So it is just a straight up 2-base all-in. This is the same build as game number 1. And Rex, he is going to be mixing in some Banelings this time. Okay. I mean, the Banelings, they will help here. Ooh, good control out of Haas. Takes down the tumors. Very nicely done. Very nice control so far. But I'm a little bit concerned here. So Rex, he's droned up to 58, which is okay. He's got some roaches on the way, I imagine, for Ravager production. But he does have limited gas available. Is on 3, soon to be 5. Yeah, 5 gases. This is going to be a tight hold. And we're moving out. The all-in is here. And Rex, he's been having a hard time defending against this, but can he finally pull this off? Again, this time it's a lot more straightforward. This time Rex is far better prepared. Plenty of Banelings. They are slow though. Haas has to be careful. He can't just ape in. He can't take the Banelings to the face. Oh no! Speaking of big connections, Zealot's going to be going down. Exactly what Haas could not do as the Zealots are being annihilated. Reinforcements are coming in. But so far, good defense here. Sentries are going down as well. And Rex, he's completely shutting this down. Haas, he just rammed his face against a wall of Banelings. And alas, Rex is holding. Drop some more Zealots trickling in, but Haas, he is running out of steam. Goes for another Warping of Sentries. How many Ravagers do we have? 1. Ooh, only 1 Ravager. But there we go. 3 more on the way. Haas tries to focus him down. Alas, cannot. As Rex is holding. Again, Rex, he's got an economy behind this. And he is so much more prepared this time. Which is why I'm not too fond of seeing this build again here in the series. We saw it work in game 1, but again, Rex, he won't be fooled twice. Not like this. Haas going into the main. Jumping into the main base. Overlords, Immortals doing what they can, but there are queens in position, and Haas, he has to pivot back. Rotates back around. Banelings are waiting for him. Rex, he can afford to drone at this point. I'm gonna say that. Haas, he's still doubling down, still all in. No transition, no way out. On the biles, they connect. Ooh, the prism goes down. Massive connection. And Haas, he's just running out of steam. Things looking worse and worse. Dire and more dire here for Haas. Overseer Scout confirms that there is no third base. There is no transition. Speaking of transition, we're going for a bay. This is going to be for disruptors. It is a Hail Mary play here for Haas. And again, Rex, he is free to expand, take a 4th, tech up, throw down some Evo chambers. He can just work towards a longer game, or just build up an army and go for the kill. Rex, he has options. And it looks like he's going for the army. 13 more roaches on the way. Rex is just massing up and moving out. Yeah, we catch out the Zealots. Big surround. Good cleanup here out of Rex. Haas behind this is going to be able to take control of his ramp. Going to be able to hold on to this position. Show us those force fields. So far so good, but the Wilds are going to be able to break them down. A couple more force fields are thrown down. Zealot run by does get across the map. Does move out, does hit the 3rd. Reinforcements are turning back around. But again, Rex, he wants to commit to the Banelings. No, they do connect. Big connections here with the sentries. 3 of them are saved. You can see here the Rex, he's just snowballing out of control. GG gets called. Rex, he ties up the series 2-2. We are going to the ace match. GG. Let's go. We are going the distance here all the way to Game 5. And we are finally going to be featuring one of the newer maps. Here we go. One of the newer maps here. Oh. It is going to be Ghost River. Let's go. Ghost River is coming up next. It all ends here. It all ends in the ace match. And here we go. We're loading in. We are loading on in. Again, I wasn't too happy to see the fact that Rex had gone for the same build 2 times in the same series. I was gonna say that one of the strengths here of Haas is he has so many builds up his sleeve that I'm sure he can bring something new to the table every single game. That was not the case though in that last game. And the question becomes, is he tapped out? You know, does he have anything else up his sleeve? Does he have another build available? Or are we going to see more of the same? As we're loading into Ghost River, shortest rush distance map in the map pool. Here we go. And as we're settling into the ace match, a big shout out in the chat to Chileno Singaporean. Ga, papi, ga. Thank you so much, Chileno. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much for the gifted bits here. For about 500 bits in the chat. Again, I apologize for not shouting you out at the time, but we were in the middle of the game. But thank you so much for the support. Gracias, papi, gracias. Quack, quack. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our Taiwanese Protoss player, the blue Protoss, being forced into the ace match. Can he bounce back? It is Haas. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Taiwanese Zerg player, the red Zerg, representing offside, fighting back, forcing the ace match. And can he keep the momentum going in his favor? It is Rex. It all comes down to this, the final game here of the series. One will rise, the other will fall to the lower brackets. Again, as a reminder, if you're a fan of either of these players, regardless of who wins and who loses, neither player is eliminated. The winner, of course, advances on into the main event, into the Asia Regionals. Meanwhile, the loser has a second chance. Thankfully. So, again, the loser will still have another opportunity to bounce back and to qualify. And we will most likely follow the loser of this series into that lower bracket. For now, though, the probe is going to be dipping into the main base. It's going to be a hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Rex. And Haas likewise going for a gate expand into Cybercore as we settle into Ghost River. Now, something that I just mentioned, again, rush distance by ground is very short. You can see here that's basically we are one screen apart, connecting natural to natural. So it doesn't take long at all to go for these all-ins, and we have seen plenty of attempted all-ins on this map. I say attempted all-ins because we've seen some pretty nice and pretty clutch defenses on this map as well, just because of how narrow some of these choke points are, how defendable the natural and the third base can be. Well, we'll see. We shall see how Haas approaches this. I say Haas because, again, he's been the one whipping out some more interesting builds and more interesting playstyles. It's been mainly on Rex to react and to respond. Speaking of, though, we are amassing a lot of lings. That is a good amount of lings coming out early on. Rex going the long way around here, skirting around the edge of the map, or at least avoiding the main attack path. It's going to be another robo opener, by the way. Almost every game so far, robo-based opener out of Haas. Looking like another 2-base all-in from our blue Protoss player. Lings, they have been spotted. At least a handful of them are. In total, it is going to be 12 lings. Rex is going to be moving out, applying some pressure, and keeping Haas honest here back at home. Is going to keep him honest. Probe has gone down. And you can see here that we're just fully walling off, essentially, 2 more gates have been thrown down. Observers on the way. This should be leading to Immortal production. Into a War Prism follow-up, into a Twilight Council. At least that's what we've seen so far. There's a Twilight Council, and soon we'll see the Prism as well. Again, so far the same build from Haas. And this looks like charge lots once again. As I say that, where is that War Prism? We are going to be skipping it. Meanwhile, Rex going for another 3-minute 40-ish Roach Warren. So an early Roach Warren here out of Rex. It looks like Rex is anticipating an all-in. He's preparing for it. Back at home. No War Prism. It looks like we do start the Immortal instead. Okay. This is looking like a lot more of a traditional Immortal-based all-in. I'm feeling a Soul Train here with charge lots. Yep, there we go. So there's a bit of a give and take. Basically, this time we are not, or this time we were forced to warp in a sentry early on and forced to respond here with a wall. Because of that, we skipped the Prism. Does mean faster Immortals. We have 4 gates on the way, 6 in total. We should be seeing 2 more for 8, and it's just going to be another 2-base all-in. Now, again, I'm not fond of this because it has been just pretty similar playstyles from Haas time and time again. And the problem is that Rex is getting used to it. That's the problem right now. Rex is getting used to defending against these all-ins. He's getting used to responding. Now, Spores are on the way, so it looks like Rex is paranoid. It looks like he's concerned it's going to be Dark Templar again. Overlord Scout did confirm the tech. But Roaches are amassing. Rex, he's cutting workers a little bit earlier this time. And Haas is pushing. Haas is moving out. Now, bearing in mind, no War Prism. No way to reinforce across the map. This move out is a lot more committed as a result. And you can see Rex preparing back at home. Massing Lings, massing Roaches. Alair is done. Roach speed is on the way. Haas is backing off. It looks like he does want to wait for the Prism. Overseer Scout confirms everything in the main. Does confirm the 2-base all-in. And I mean, Rex has been here before. He's been on the receiving end of a loss and a win against these all-ins. He does collapse in the army. There's no Prism. We can pick up some of these units ahead of time. Haas just welding across the map. Prism is on the way. Rex trying to mass up a couple of Ravagers. Lings as well. But this is looking quite scary here. This is looking close. That is 3 Immortals. And you can see Rex trying to get a better angle. Moving forward with that Spore. Spore is going to be going down. Good pick up. That's a lot of Zealots. Haas is coming in from trying to come in from multiple angles. Zealots are getting caught out. The Queens are getting surrounded. And the Queens in that middle line are going to be going down. At the same time, they're good kiting with these Roaches. Zealots are falling. The sentries as well. A couple of sentries are going down. Rex kiting back. Has retained most of his drones, but the 3rd base, it looks like we have broken. We have broken that 3rd. It's going to be going down. Yeah, we get a kill on the 3rd base. Prism is pushing forward. There's only there's still 4 sentries left. But we can't reinforce. Yeah, we don't have time here to reinforce. We go for the siege. Files are connecting. Still a very close attack here. Okay, the force field's working against Haas for a moment there. The Spore going ham on that Prism. But Haas, he's backing off. The Biles! Biles are up! Ooh, do not connect. Quick on siege out of Haas. Another big warp in, and I'm concerned for Rex. He lost his 3rd. There's that much less production available. Less production as Haas is breaking through. A lot of Roaches going down. The Immortals, they have been retained this entire time. 0 Immortals have died. Really nice control here out of Haas. Only bleeding out Zealots and a handful of sentries. Does overextend for a moment. But he's breaking through. And Haas, it looks like he has done it. He's broken the back here of Rex. cleaning up the roaches, cleaning up most of the Ravagers as well. Breaking into that mineral line, and again, Rex just doesn't have the larva, doesn't have the production, doesn't have enough here to hold on. PvZ take down some of the sentries. Boys are being pulled. Can we survive? It's close. The PvZ graze the prism, and it looks like the prism is going to go down. But the army is still standing here. GG gets called. Haas, he breaks through, and Haas will qualify for the Asia Regionals of EPT Spring. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Haas as he does qualify for the regionals. My condolences to Rex, as he is going to be knocked down into the lower brackets. He fought his heart out, went all the way to the ace match here. But the all-in from Haas, it hit a little bit harder because of the short rush distance by ground. On top of that, we did see that Rex, unfortunately, was unable to really get on top of the army ahead of time. Only had 2 Ravagers, was unable to deny any warp-ins, and was having a really hard time engaging overall. We saw the angle of attack there at the third base, where it was a lot more wide open. Did allow Haas to get on top of that third, get on top of those queens early on, and was able to shut it down. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Congratulations to Haas. My condolences to Rex, as again, it did feel like he was a little bit more scared in that final game, just because he was investing into all these spores, just because he was cutting drones earlier on as well. Didn't have as much economy to sustain himself, and with that, GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Haas. And where is Rex headed? That is the question. Does Rex have an opponent? How has the rest of the bracket been progressing? We're here to find out.